Hi, this is Paul Arnold. I'm known as a studying professor, as may come clear a bit later on. And today I want to talk to you about one of the most important factors that drives our success in life. And when I talk about success, I don't necessarily mean about becoming a VP or any of those nonsense. It's about absolutely enjoying and making the most of the potential of who you are. And that's our self-belief and our self-esteem that we hold about who we see ourselves to be. Because only if we can deal with that can we go out in the world and be as strong and as potent as we potentially can be. And actually, I want to share with you a technique, a principle that I've developed, which I call the Christmas tree. And it's quite simple, okay? It's imagine you have got a Christmas tree. And on that Christmas tree, there are all these baubles. And those baubles represent what I call reference experiences for the belief that we hold. And let's say we are creating a Christmas tree full of baubles about a belief we have about who we are. Be it something as stupid as, I can't spell. And what we do is almost like on the base where the pot is, you write the word, I can't spell. And then what we then do is we then populate that Christmas tree with lots of these baubles about reference experience. But why do I say that? Well, my teacher said I couldn't spell at that time, or my dad criticized me there, or I did that exam, I didn't do very well. And we look at each one of those. And with the maturity and the wisdom we've got now, looking back upon that event in the past, we can take each one of those baubles and examine them for the truth. Because it may well be that when your dad was criticizing you, he'd just actually been made redundant from his job, he was feeling highly stressed, and he was just actually firing out stuff which was nonsense. Or maybe actually when you say that you didn't do so well in that exam, it was actually because you'd had a really bad night's sleep, you weren't feeling on your best or whatever. So actually we can start to take these baubles, examine them, see them for what their real worth is, and smash them and get them out of the way. And slowly what we do, we take each one of those baubles, or whatever it is about being, I'm not very good in relationships, no one likes me, I'm hopeless at X and Y, and all those things that cloud and constrain us. And we take each one of those and we examine them, and we start to take those baubles and smash them until we get a fairer reflection. Because the truth is that, yeah, maybe you're not the best speller in the world, but it doesn't really matter. And the other thing, we put it into the bigger context, because frankly, why do you need to be the best speller in the world these days when there is Google and things like this? I used to work with the most amazing sort of lady. She was vibrant and energetic, and she used to willingly admit, she's like, look, I'm not the greatest strategist in the world, but I use another person. And that's a really powerful thing to go and do, is to use other people for what they're great at, and that's what team is all about. Now, the other flip side of doing this Christmas tree is we build the new Christmas tree. And we put on it, actually I can spell. And we now grab reference experience. So sure, in that spelling test, I may have got sort of, only 7 out of 10, but how have I still got 7? And there are other times I've done it. And so what we do is we start to populate a new Christmas tree with new reference experiences to rebuild that. And drawing from the principles of NLP, there's a wonderful technique which is called circles of excellence. And this is the idea that we build these reference experiences, we grab them and say, there was a time back then when I was really good at that, and we remember it, and we visualize it, and we see it, and we hear it, and we really relive the event. And then when we're at that heightened point, we then what's called anchoring it. And anchoring is just a place of storing it. And I often do this, actually on this finger, where I'll take sort of, a finger and I'll just connect it together. And I'll then actually get another reference experience, and I keep storing them, I keep storing them, I keep storing them, I keep storing them. So when I need to re-access that I really am not that bad at X, I can press that. And even if you don't believe actually that it floods your body with all these experiences, it's reminding you you've got 20, 30 reference experience stacked to say that you are not that bad at doing that stuff. So I think that's really important to start to examine through the cold light of modern day. What are these reference experiences that are making you believe you're no good at something? And then build a separate Christmas tree where you start to stack evidence of where you're not that bad at it. But the third thing we have to do is we have to start to look at reframing those imperfections. The first thing to really say about it is, look, we are all imperfect. That's what makes it so wonderful. And the second thing is that, you know what? We should admit it. You know, there's a lovely thing called Johara's window about sort of what we think other people know about us and actually what we think is kept private. And the reality is, this thing that we're scared to ever admitting, the outside world knows. And as soon as we admit it, it's okay. And it takes the pressure off ourselves. So we should learn to admit this stuff. So, you know what? I'm not very good at that. That's okay. Yeah. Who else is good at it? Let them come and do it. And we allow other people to become part of the team. And the other thing is that actually, very often, people don't notice it as much as you do. And in many ways, our strengths burn out and shine so much brighter that they flood the stage and basically hide and push into the shadow what we're so concerned about. So burn brightly in the things you are really good at, and don't be held back by the things that you're not so good at doing. And the other thing is we connect through actually our weaknesses. You know, and I apologize if you're one of those, but do you remember at school there was that perfect boy, that perfect girl who was like head girl, head boy, she was great at doing this, she was all the friends and things like that. We never quite could connect with them. However, the person who was like a bit incompetent, a bit not so good, they were real. And we connect through our vulnerabilities and our frailties. And the other final thing I really want to say is, you know what? Those imperfections have made you. They've given you the inner strength of who you are. And for years I resisted the fact that I had a stutter, and I didn't like it, and I hated the fact I had it. And I remember when I was about 40, someone once said to me, a very powerful intervention, like, you know, what makes a man of 40 still stutter? My first reaction was, well, stupid bloody question, I don't choose to be like that. But the more I thought about it, I thought, well, it served me. It's always made me be very distinctive at school and at university and in the jobs I had, and everyone knew me. And the other thing I realised is it gave me massive resilience and strength. Admittedly, as a kid, I hated it because it made you cry and things like that. But actually, it gave me strength. And it gave me the ability to keep pushing on and not be afraid of failure. Because in the old days, every time I opened my mouth, I failed. So therefore, I reframed it as being, you know what? I've actually got more out of having a stutter than I've lost from it. And the same is for you. Even if you have got something that you're not great at, you know, find the strength that it's given you, because it would have given you great strength. So anyway, I hope that's of help. You know, I am a trained coach and a psychologist, and I do loads of work with people on an individual basis and running big training days. So if you want me to come in and do any work with you, then by all means, please contact me on the email details at the end of this. Anyway, take care and look after yourselves.